Hello there, everybody. I'm a pessimistic gamer, and welcome to Happy Dumb Fun Time, or whatever the heck this video is called. We are a bunch of nerds hanging out, talking about nerd stuff, unscripted, all that stuff. Here we have Neil from Dr. Neiltopus, and what's your name again? Scott Wizard something?
Scott Wizard. Yes.
This is Callum from Scott Wizard.
Cool. Yep, so there we go. Intro done.
Okay, bye everyone. Bye.
We did it. We're good. Yeah, wow. I don't know if they can see the time code, but there were like 20 minutes of us just like fiddling around and trying to figure out how to do this.
Yes, because I'm almost computer illiterate.
Yeah, dude.
I can function enough to get on Facebook and binge watch Netflix.
That's where your skill ends.
Yes.
That is your skill. I mean,
And you call yourself someone worthy of a podcast? We're scarce to look at you.
by the way, Callum does voices.
In case you didn't know.
I mean, if you were gonna do them in any video, I mean, this is the one.
Yep.
The
This
whole
is
premise of this video is I messaged Zach one day and said, hey, you want to do like just a dumb video where we just point the camera at ourselves and just be dumb? And that's what it is. Here we are.
Yep.
No skill required.
It's begun. After all this time, our time has come. Yes.
Our skills, like, regardless of your tech skills, Zach, this really is the perfect job for at least me and Callum. Like, we've been training our whole lives.
Yeah. In primary school, high school, all our years of typing practice and reading skills and going to church and all that good stuff has led up to this moment. Just sitting, talking to each other, sitting, talking about nerd stuff. It's all built up to this moment. Every second, it's been worth it.
That's actually a good segue. I want to know right now everybody's opinions. What the fuck did you think about the Detective Pikachu trailer?
Oh my gosh.
On
I freaking loved
I thought
it.
we said no swearing.
That was a joke.
Oh no.
So I saw it and I thought it looked interesting. It was kind of funny, and then I was listening to it. I was like, wait a minute, Pikachu's voice sounds familiar. I was like, who plays him? And then I thought about it. I was like, wait a minute, is that Ryan Reynolds? And so that made me a lot more excited to see this movie.
I mean, I wanted Danny DeVito to play Detective Pikachu, but I'll take Ryan Reynolds.
However, the guy.
I'm going to electrocute you.
Yeah, with a
However, there's one thing I didn't realize and makes me a little mad. The guy that he's with, I can't remember the actor's name.
His name is something Goodman.
Yeah, whatever the guy's name is that he gets involved with and goes on the adventure with, is also one of the people from the newest Jurassic World movie. The black guy from that, the team that goes there. I freaking hate. I hate them, and so it's like I hate that character very specifically. So that's one thing I don't know. I'll have to put it out of my mind, I guess.
You can't hate an actor for one role, man.
I know. It's just I see him and I see the character. I don't hate the actor. I hate the character.
Think about it.
With Detective Pikachu, though.
Think about it like this. Ryan Reynolds, before he could play Deadpool, had to play a really crappy version of Deadpool in X-Men Origins.
Yeah, I know.
And aren't we glad they went back to him? Aren't we glad they ignored that other version and were like, nah, you can have a second chance?
And then they killed the earlier version. That's revenge.
As they should.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Callum, what did you think of the Detective Pikachu trailer?
It's such a bizarre concept, but I think because it's so bizarre, it's going to work. We haven't had many good quality video game movies. Most of them have been mediocre at best. There have been a few exceptions. And there's been a majority of poopy ones. You've mentioned a few in the Halloween episode, of course, Neil. But this seems like a really interesting concept for a movie based on a video game. And, yeah, it's just because it's so bizarre, I think it's just going to work. I think if it was just any other Pokemon movie, I was thinking, oh, cool, it's a real life, very Pokemon, similar to how they do with the live action Disney film. But just the fact that they decided, okay, you know what? Let's just add in this Detective Pikachu character voiced by Deadpool. I'm just thinking, okay, you've got my attention.
I agree. Like, what most of the animated movies do is, I don't want to turn this into an episode of Reactaholics, but what a lot of the animated movies do is they try to do this really big thing because it's animated. Like, they go all out and do, like...
Well, I mean, I suppose they can, and it looks cool, because it's animated.
Oh yeah, of course it does, but if you try to do that in real life, it's just going to be a lot of CG and look awful.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you use practical effects.
I mean, you can't really use practical effects for a giant flying bird
Yeah.
that shoots fire. They have their limits. Although they did use a giant David Hasselhoff in the SpongeBob movie, so everything's possible.
Very practical effect.
Yeah, you guys
Rest in peace, SpongeBob. Victor. You know, speaking of video game movies, I think the best video game movies are actually the fan-made films you can find on YouTube.
Go watch those. Recommendation by Scott's Blizzard.
I'd recommend starting off with Terrible Fate based on Majora's Mask. It's gonna blow your mind, even if it's 5 minutes long.
And then end with Super Mario Warfare, which is...
Let's go.
And my recommendation is actually a show on Netflix. I definitely recommend Castlevania.
Oh,
yes.
yeah, that one's actually good. Go watch that first, and then end with Super Mario Warfare. Not even kidding. I sat down with a bunch of friends, and they were like, "Oh, I'm bored. I want to leave." I put that on, and they were like, "Well, now we just can't." Like, they were looking at the screen, and they were like, "Well, I'm not going to have another chance to see this." And it's on YouTube. Everybody can see it. But they were like, "No, I need the answers to the questions I have."
Oh, nothing like hypnotizing your friends by saying, "Look at this interesting thing." Behold, the world's most distracting thing. I've forgotten what I was talking about.
It's just so awesome you can't look away. Like, it's so stupid and so awesome it should be studied.
Alright, well, I will have to watch... I haven't seen it, so I'll watch it after we're done with this.
It's got a good fun. Like, you know, it's clearly, like, fan-made, so everything is a little goofy, but at the same time, like, it's supposed to be. Like,
right.
This is if Mario in an action movie.
Right.
It's just, I might watch it tonight with dinner. It's such a good watch. Go and review on Stardust for it, because it is available to review on Stardust. It's, hey, do you have like 2 hours to kill and you want to like have like an ass load of fun? Just sit down and watch Mario Warfare.
It's 2 hours long? I'm surprised
no.
I've never heard of this.
It's not 2 hours long, but you need an additional 30 minutes or so to sort of like accept life after that. Like, not even kidding. Watch it with a group of friends. After you watch it, the conversation topic for the next few hours is just gonna be what you just saw.
All right then. I will do that. Is it is there much swearing in it? A lot of my friends are not cool with swearing and stuff. Is it?
I don't think they say the F word. Why am I calling it that? They don't say fuck.
Oh, his friends are gonna get you into trouble now.
Yeah, my friends aren't here. It's okay to swear.
I know there's one scene where Luigi is being tortured by Hammer Brothers and he calls somebody a son of a bitch. But
I wouldn't blame him. It's the Hammer Bros.
See, because
they're like hitting him in the crotch with like sledgehammers.
Oh.
Oh,
Like,
dude.
it's actually really like dark scene because the entire time Luigi is like, you know, you have a war where somebody is just a little bit racist about the other side. That's Luigi. And, you know, they're trying to film like a torture video of him and he's just making fun of them and kicking the camera down. Like, so, you know, it's really dark because, like, they break one of his legs and then he goes, oh, I could still kick your ass with the other one.
Just but a flesh wound.
And then they break that leg and he's just screaming. It's so dark, yet once you start, you can't stop watching it.
All right. Well, I'll
I think we
because-
should move away before we go insane and before the FBI comes in to sue us for swearing.
I'm telling you, this is what the effect. Callum, I want this to be clear. He didn't say we can't swear. He said we can't say other things, and then I asked, "Oh, is it okay if we swear?" And he was like, "Yeah, that's fine."
Alright, by other things, I think we meant your last name, which was Gamer Odo. I spilled the beans. I will call you Pessimistic Zach. I am so sorry. I have spilled the beans. I've spoiled us all.
You ruined it.
darn.
Hey, wait a minute. You can edit this video, right, Zach?
Yeah.
Censor him there.
Oh, I will. I will.
Yeah. Every time the word gamer is spoken, censor it. So
Right. Yep. I'll be sure to do that.
Welcome to
Hey,
Super
can you blame us? We're officially video gamers. Just joining the game club. Just doing the gamer things.
You're making his editing job so much worse right now.
Well,
Kevin.
I mean, I know, like, pretty much my editing job will be cutting off the first bit, cutting off the last bit, and then having to go through and add in beeps for when people say
Yeah, you want to know something? There's going to be a point where we're saying it, like, subconsciously. Like, we'll be talking about video games. Probably consider that, too, just so people can't put together what it is. But and we're just casually like, yeah, I've been a gamer the majority of my life. You know?
I've been a the majority of my life. I've loved joining my culture of video.
For that, because I know I was like, when I was talking about Mario Warfare, I was like, oh yeah, if you're a video gamer, you love this.
Oh.
What's your language?
So there's gonna be a censored word for gamer before we establish. I'm gonna be censoring it. Jeez.
It's...
So when something, nobody tell her about this. Nobody
All right.
update her.
All right.
Just let
Nope.
her accidentally say.
All right. Right.
Yeah. Speaking of gaming, though, you guys want to talk about D&D stuff?
Oh yeah. I've got a fun story to share.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so there's this guy down here at school. He's a little bit younger guy. He's like 15, but he's really enthusiastic about role playing. Like I'd say even more than me, which is weird because I haven't like met someone IRL who's like as enthusiastic as me. Anyway, he was over at my house here the other day.
You must live in a very unique place then.
He's at a Christian place. Christian place. I'll say that because I don't.
Hey,
want
Christian's gonna be fun. I'm a fun guy. I'm fun people.
Have you not seen that? I'm a Christian too, but have you not seen that documentary done by Christians where they talk about how evil D&D is? That's a
Okay.
What I mean is I'm like I really love role playing, and I found other people who are like, yeah, sure, yeah, I'll give it a try or whatever. But he's like obsessed, like more obsessed than me, is what I'm saying.
What you're saying is me.
Yeah, I guess kind of, but he's like less mature about it, and so it gets kind of annoying.
Wait a minute. You're saying there's somebody out there who is less mature than me?
Well, I mean, he's 15.
Oh, well, okay. That adds up. Checks out.
Okay. Anyway, so what I was saying. All right. So he's over at my house, and he's like, "Hey, can you show me how to play Cogent, because that's the system that we were going to be using for a different game that we had planned." I was like, okay, yeah, sure. So I gave him a character sheet. I was like, okay, so we'll just go through. We'll create a character just for the heck of it, so you can learn like how the game works and everything. And so I went through, explained all the stats and skills and everything like that. And I was like, okay, so if you want to go ahead, like what? I was like, okay, what genre do you want to do a character of? Because we were gonna do like a little mini game as part of that as well. And so he was like, you know what? I'll make my character like sort of a modern genre thing. And what he came up with for a character, I can only describe as a combination of Jason Bourne and John Wick.
Oh, wow.
All right. That adds up.
So he creates this like ex-spy kind of thing, and basically this is the first game I've ever done with a person one-on-one, and also completely improvised. And so I kind of ask him some questions, to get the scene set up. And the game starts out with him, just sitting in a coffee shop in DC, about to head up to Canada to check out a place where he's heard that this, because he got fired. Basically, he got fired from whatever organization he was working with. His family got killed because he failed his last mission. That's also the reason he got fired. Anyway, and he's still out for revenge against this terrorist group. Anyway, so he goes up to Canada, manages to sneak a gun through the through Border Patrol, and then it's going perfectly normal spy stuff. And he does really good on a perception check, and so he finds a place where like there's this storefront where the terrorist group is kind of a meeting place for them. And so he decides to wait until the store closes to go in, and he tries picking the lock, but a cop sees him and walks over to him and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And so instead of trying to be charismatic about this, or maybe just going with him and getting everything cleared up, he takes out a knife and slashes the cop's throat.
Yikes.
Wait, did he think the cop was a bad guy? Was it like a bad guy?
Well, so he was trying to break into a place. He's kind of, not really following the law. But no, I mean, it was just a normal cop. And so instead of like doing something less lethal, he's like, okay, I'm gonna use my knife and slash his throat. And I'm like, okay, that's what you want to do. And so then he rolled. I had him, because the cop was off guard, I had him do a challenge level instead of against the cop's defense roll. And anyway, so he succeeded the challenge level by a few successes, and I was like, okay, the cop's throat is slashed, arterial bleeding going everywhere. What do you want to do now? He's like, oh, wait a second, I didn't want to do that. Can I take it back? I'm like, nope, you can't.
You
Nope.
rolled for it. I'm interested.
But anyway, so he's like, okay, can I try to stop the bleeding? I was like, yep, use your survival check, which is the skill in Cogent that you use. And he failed that check, so the cop bled out and died. And
What was his mindset here? I'm going to this cop. Oh wait, now I want to save the cop.
well, anyway, this was all crazy stuff going on, and I can't remember exactly what all happened. I know he like basically dragged the cop's body into the store, and anyway, he's like, okay, I'm gonna switch into the cop's outfit. Well, I wanted to try to keep things realistic, so I used what's known as a, oh dang it, what would you call it? You just roll a d20 to see how well things turn out. Clothes don't fit. They're too baggy or something like that.
That's a luck check.
Yeah, I know in Cogent it's called something else. Destiny roll, that's what it's called.
Yeah, that works. It's all just.
It's all the same, but yeah, it's just like what it's called in that system. Anyway, so he manages to escape, and he like goes into the sewer, and he ends up, he's all covered in shit, and he manages to wave down a friendly Canadian who takes him close to the border, so that way he can.
Hold on.
What?
Is this friendly Canadian just hanging out in the sewer?
No. He comes. I'm sorry, I missed some stuff. Right, so he goes through the sewer. He comes. He gets out to where all the sludge and everything is just kind of gathered into a pool of shit, and so he's like, waist deep in the stuff.
Yeah.
He gets out. He finds a road. That's where he finds the friendly Canadian. And keep in mind, all this stuff was improvised and stuff. So it's not like I really had a great plan or anything for this. But anyway, so he gets across the border. He doesn't go through border patrol. He just passes through illegally. And so now where we left off, we haven't played again since yet. But now he is somewhere in the New York State Forest with a crappily built shelter because his survival skills are crap, and covered in shit. And yeah, so that's, and it's October. So that's where we are. That's where we are in that weird story.
Jeez. Covered in shit,
Right.
middle in a crappily made shelter.
Yep.
My gosh. We need to make a new installment to the Jason Bourne franchise. The
Jason
Bourne Idiocy.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Listen here, friendly Canadian, you're taking me across the border. I don't care that I'm covered in shit.
There's some other
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I?
there's a lot of dumb details in that that I didn't give you, but that's the short version.
There's I got it. So this is a simple story. It's essentially called Let's just call it Start the Fire.
Oh
So
boy.
it was a Western D&D, and you know I was playing my character. My character's name is Phineas Perkins. I am the town drunk, but I'm also the town doctor, which was a stroke of genius on my part. Like that was such a fun character to play. But so my whole character thing is I have a raccoon skin hat, but it's actually a real raccoon. And
That's a little character from Lumberjanes.
I mean, no, but okay. So
Right, comic book series.
we're just sitting there around this wood pile. And, you know, it's getting late. We gotta go to bed. It's gonna freeze if we don't start this fire. So I walk up, I'm the drunk. I got alcohol on me. So I put some like alcohol on the wood, and I try to start it, and I get a natural 1. So I'm just trying to start this fire, and I'm like, damn it. Listen, can one of you guys help us out, please? I can't get it. So then, one by one, everybody in the party goes up and tries to start the fire, and I shit you not, everyone gets a natural 1.
Everyone was drunk.
We had a vengeful priest. Essentially, like, these outlaws set a church on fire, and the priest was actually inside and got burnt. So because of that, you know, one of the reasons he was with us, even though it's sinful, he wanted to seek vengeance on the people who burned down the fire. You know, interesting storytelling.
Okay.
So he goes up to start the fire. He can't do it. So he prays to God to do it. And then God has to make a roll. And God's the natural 1.
Wow.
The DM just looked at him and said, hey, if God got a natural 20, he was going to, like, strike the wood with lightning, but he got a 1, too.
God is being generous here. It's either I think God purposely made a 1 so that no other fires would be made. He's just probably thinking, no more fires. I've had enough fireworks today. Not come up with just I've had enough. Stop
You'll
it.
see, the story ends on a very surprising note. So, the Indian walks up, and she's usually the person who starts our fire.
Indian.
Yeah, you know, Native American.
Native American, right.
She walks up and tries to start the fire. She's done this before. And she got a 1, but then wanted to try again and got another 1. So she actually hurt her hand. And then, last person we have is, you know, every party has that joke character. And I thought I was going to be the joke character, because I'm like, oh, I'm the town doctor and the town drunk. Isn't that funny? No, this person was the joke character. We had a male prostitute who had a whip and a small pink dress.
Oh no.
Okay.
I won't say his name. It wasn't like anything racist, but it was kind of inappropriate.
All right. All right.
It wasn't racist. It was just like, you know, I don't personally like the word, so I don't want to say. It's not an insult. It's nothing offensive. It's another word for breasts. So, fine, I gotta say it now. His name was Titties. That's what it I don't like that word, though. I don't.
You don't have to mention it ever again. We can even censor that out if you want.
No, we're not gonna censor it because they may think I was saying something racist.
How is...
Yeah, that's not racist, but if you censor it, they have to fill in the blanks of what. Anyways, moving on. So he goes up, and this guy's just an idiot. But remember, the wood is covered in alcohol. So he just pulls out his gun and shoots it. And you would think, yeah, the thing's covered in alcohol. That's got to do something. Natural one, he shot me.
That's gonna be a loaded dice or something.
Oh yeah, it was unbelievable. Everybody was freaking out. We were sitting there and we were told by the DM, listen, it's getting cold. If you guys don't sleep soon, and we're in the desert, if you guys don't sleep soon, when you wake up, you're gonna have conditions for the rest of the day. And everybody had tried to start the fire. So the DM was like, no, listen, all you guys tried, you couldn't do it. You're just gonna have to take the condition. But then I go, wait a minute. DM, I have a pet raccoon named Twitchy. Could he try to start the fire? And at first he was gonna say no, but then I reminded him that in the last game we played, Twitchy was able to break somebody's neck.
Must be wrong with the raccoon or something.
So he's like, hey, you know what? Fine. You've all tried, but I will tell you, your raccoon is covered in fur. If it does start a flame, but gets a natural one, it might set itself on fire. So I think about it for a second, and I'm like, we need to start the fire. We have a boss fight, theoretically, tomorrow. So we have to be in good condition. I send Twitchy up with the alcohol and a fire.
Hey, Pessimistic Gamer here. Just thought I'd apologize for the video suddenly cutting off. For some reason, my recording software decided to just stop recording for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. So, yeah. That's that. There will be another one of these coming out sometime. I don't know when. It's actually been a really long time since we recorded that video and since I'm actually doing this and getting around to actually putting it somewhere. So, anyway, yep. That's all for now. So, remember, doesn't matter if the glass is half full or half empty if it's poisoned.